AV in your ears, that's Ambush Being, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street, you already know, let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Hi there, this is Jeremy Swift and you're listening to Fascination Street podcast. And something is afoot.
AV in your ears, that's Ambush Being, giving you this audio visual down the most interesting street in the world. With my voice, Steve, Fascination Street, you already know, let's get it. When you whip in the Fascination Street, what do you...
Welcome back, Streetwalkers. This episode is with the velvet-voiced crooner, Wyatt Michael. My wife and I went to a local jazz club here in San Antonio a few weeks ago, and we got to watch the incredible Wyatt Michael perform a tribute to Sinatra. He climbed up on stage with a live band, and Wyatt Michael crushed it. He has the voice, he has the chops, he has the phrasing, he has the breathing techniques that make it possible to do some of these songs, and he has the charm. In between the songs, he told some wonderful and charming stories, and he really just led the whole room. He is a natural-born frontman and crooner. He belongs behind a microphone and in front of people. My wife and I loved every bit of it. He is kind enough to let me play a couple of songs during this episode. In this episode, we also get to see the journey of Wyatt. He tells us how he first fell in love with the old crooning style of music and who some of his greats were and how he got into singing those types of songs and in that genre publicly. And we even talk about how he came to be on the 2021 season of The Voice. He gives us a little bit of an insider scoop on how that works, who picked him, like whose team he was on and how that went, and what sort of interaction that the contestants have with the guest judges or the star judges. I can't wait to go see him again. Make sure you check Wyatt out all over social media. Thank you so much, Wyatt. I really appreciate you taking the time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my conversation with jazz singer and American standard crooner extraordinaire, Wyatt Michael.
Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated. Prepare to be fascinated.
Welcome to Fascination Street Podcast, Wyatt Michael. What's up, dude?
Hello, good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It is 100% my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife and I, we live just outside of San Antonio, Texas, and we were having some guests come in, some friends come in from out of town, and we were like, what should we take them to go do? Because they'd never been to Texas before. We're like, hey, what should we do to show them the sights? And there's this jazz club in a certain part of San Antonio that we really enjoy. So we're like, hey, you know what? Let's just see what's going on with that jazz club the weekend that our friends are here. And we're scrolling through, and there's nothing that's on the weekend that our friends are going to be here. But as I'm scrolling through, my wife goes, hey, stop, go back. And I'm like, what? She goes, go back. And she goes, that right there. Let's go to that. And I go, that's not the weekend that we're talking about. She goes, I don't give a shit. Just you and me. Let's go see that. And I was like, okay. And ladies and gentlemen, when she said, let's go see that, what she meant was Wyatt Michael, a tribute to Frank Sinatra. Now, my wife and I, we go way back with Frank. On our very first date ever, she picked me up in her car. We were going somewhere, and because I was young and stupid, I'm just rifling through her car while she's driving. I'm just like, what's in the glove box? What's in this center console? Whatever. I open the center console and I pull out this CD. It was a CD that I also had. There was a couple of them that I also had, which is what made us perfect. But one of the CDs was Frank Sinatra Reprise. And I was like, you're a fan of Frank Sinatra? And she looks at me and she's like, you're a fan of Frank Sinatra? Like, what are you talking about? So my wife and I go back forever with Frank Sinatra. I'm not in the room where it is, but the room just outside of the store is all decorated in Frank Sinatra stuff. I've got probably 90 of his vinyl records. I've got sheet music of his stuff. I got pictures and posters. I even framed, a few years ago, they came out with a Frank Sinatra U.S. stamp. I bought a whole sheet and framed those. Like, just all the things. I love Frank.
Yeah.
I visited some of his houses, the one he grew up in, which isn't there anymore, but there's a plaque on the ground. Like, it's Anyway, I love Frank Sinatra. So when my wife was like, well, let's go see this dude sing Frank Sinatra. And I was like, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever have the opportunity to see Wyatt Michael, whether he's doing Sinatra or not, trip over yourselves, step on your spouse to get to those tickets. Like whatever it takes, go see this man. And with that, I will let you say at least one word.
Well, thank you for all the kind words. I appreciate that. It's great to know you have, such a love for Sinatra and the music like I do. All the merch, I guess you'd say, that you've acquired is pretty cool.
I even interviewed his granddaughter a few months ago, like earlier this year. I had her on the show.
Wow.
So Wyatt, what I like to do is I like to start from the beginning. It helps us understand how the guests got from where they were to where they are. And I can't imagine that you grew up as a little tiny baby in what, looking at you, must be the 2000s when you were born. Where were you born and raised, man? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in 96. I just turned 29. I think right after that show. It was before or after. I'm getting my dates mixed up.
Yeah, you aged up on stage. You were like, last week I turned older and I'm old now or whatever. Yeah, it was the week after your birthday isn't when I saw you.
Okay, great. My dad was a Marine, so we moved around quite a bit in the beginning, but I spent most of my life growing up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, over 20 years.
Is that near Colonial Williamsburg or no, not really?
It's about a couple hours away.
Okay.
It's kind of in between DC and Richmond.
Okay. Gotcha.
Originally, my mother was making me take piano lessons, which I hated at the time. And I wanted to play guitar.
So what were you listening to when you were growing up? It wasn't Frank. What was it?
It was, man, I don't know.
So we're talking like the early 2000s is when you were kind of an age where you got to pick your own music, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because I never really listened to the modern music of my time.
Really? So you were never like, oh, Limp Bizkit and Saliva and Disturbed. I'm all into that. And go, let's get down with the sickness. None of that?
No, I think if I recall correctly, I don't know whether if it was from rebellion or it was just the music I loved. I gravitated towards Led Zeppelin and rock and stuff rather than the NSYNCs and the all of the stuff that everyone else was singing.
Sure. So did that make you a little bit of an outcast in your friend circle? Like, not to sound like a dick, but did you have any friends? Like, you're growing up listening to your grandparents' music. Did you have any friends?
That's a good question. I guess most of our friends were in church. That's where I grew up. I ended up playing on the worship team too, guitar and stuff. And
sorry, did you say the worship team?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's just everybody on stage at church. It's the church band, I guess you'd say.
But it's not like a competitive, you go around and whoop each other's church team's asses, right? It's just, okay, you're just part of the Sunday church band. Okay, all right, cool. I was like, team? This is a team sport now? Okay.
That is funny. Now that you mention it, it's funny.
And coming in first place this year in the Church Olympics is Wyatt Michael on guitar. Like, wait, what?
So that was where most of the friends were. We kind of hung out outside the church, obviously, and but we were also homeschooled growing up, so I didn't have a plethora of friends, but the ones I did have are very close friends even now.
But what you did have was a plethora of words of English language. Nobody says plethora. Good job. Good job, Mom, or whoever taught you at home. Good job. Plethora. This dude said plethora. Okay, so the friends that you did have, you kind of still do have. So is it safe to say that you didn't move around a lot? Like, I know your dad was in the Marines, but once y'all settled in Virginia, is that kind of where you stayed? Like, you just kind of grew up in the same place?
Yeah, so I think, like I said, over 20 years I was there. I just recently moved to the complete opposite end of the nation.
Oh, we're going to get there.
But yeah, Virginia was, I'd say, all of my life up until this point. It's been so recent that I've been in Vegas that I don't know if it counts yet.
Now that is funny. You're growing up listening to everything that nobody else is listening to, right? You're listening to your great-grandparents' music on the Victrola. So what were your friends listening to besides church hymnals and you melting faces on stage at church? What were they listening to?
That's a good question. They were listening to, I think, most of the modern stuff and some rock. I remember Jason Derulo had just come out. That was the time.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't really talk music.
It seems odd considering what you do and how good you are at it that you weren't growing up just talking about music all the time. It seems a little odd.
Yeah, well, like I said, I played piano, but I hated it. So I switched to guitar and played the rock thing. And I never heard jazz or anything until many years later. I played electric guitar in a rock band with my brother for like over 7 years.
What's your brother play?
Guitar as well. And then he used to sing. He was the lead singer.
Who's a better singer, you or him?
Steak and ice cream, he's good at the rock stuff, and I found my niche.
Was that the name of your band? That's the name of your duo, is Steak and Ice Cream? I love it.
That was actually Chasing Avenir. Avenir was French for future. That was our band name. But
oh, snap. Pretentious as hell, but also kind of a cool name.
It was very hard finding a name. There's so many that were taken. There's so many, especially in rock. There's always the cliche.
You know what wasn't taken?
What's that?
Steak and Ice Cream.
I don't know. You'd be surprised.
You're like, maybe.
You do domain searches and stuff, and you find there's a lot that are taken, and especially in rock. There's a lot of the verb, the noun bands, so it's
sure
quite competition.
So, what were you guys playing shows, or was this just a garage band? Like, what was the lifespan of this band?
Yeah, I guess both. We had members kind of coming in and out, but we did play a few cool venues, like the National Theater in Richmond a couple times.
Oh, wow.
And just around town, different bars, and
kind of a regional band.
Yeah, wherever we could go, really.
Did you guys write any music, original stuff under that band name?
Yeah, absolutely, we did.
Did you release any of it?
We released some of it. There's a lot that we left, I guess, on the table, you would say, or in the demos. There's so many that we wrote, but we only ended up, I think, doing an EP and then a couple other singles that were originals.
Is any of that stuff on Spotify?
I believe so. Should be, yeah.
And it would be under Chasing Avenir?
Yeah.
How do you spell Avenir?
Avenir. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, well, this is a weird question, but this is a perfect time to do it. Can I play one of those songs?
Yeah, if you'd like to, yeah.
To give everybody an idea of what you used to sound like when you were a rock band, Melting Faces?
Sure. I think so. Most of the stuff on there that we released is around the time where I started to realize I could sing. So if you wanted to hear how we used to sound, then I recommend playing from the EP Blue, a song called Eyes.
Well, how about this? Instead of just recommending that I go search that, why don't you do this thing where you pretend like you're a radio DJ and introduce that song? Will you do that for me?
All right. So up next, we have Chasing Avenir off of their Blue EP, a song called Eyes. And this is Wyatt Michael.
Fantastic.
You're his girl, the apple of his eye, but you're rotten to the core. When you're with him, you're always so shy. When you're with me, you're a carnivore. But you look like Venus with a body, it's sculpted from marble, smooth as silk, it's such a marvel. But you always look amazing when you show up at my door. And all those pretty things you're wearing look much better on my floor. So come inside and close your eyes. We'll have the time of our lives. 'Cause when I touch you, I feel you tremble, honey. Your fingernails send shivers down my spine. I've been staring in your eyes so long, my vision's getting blurry, but I can't seem to close my eyes. touch you, I feel you tremble, honey. Your fingernails send shivers down my spine. I've been staring in your eyes so long my vision's getting blurry, but I can't, oh, I can't seem to close my eyes. Why would I want to, and why would I want to, baby? Why would I want to when you look so beautiful tonight? There is no sweeter sin than that alabaster skin that grows mine to roll you through the night. You're so posh and even key. I can't wait to change you. You tell me about the way that he makes you feel. He doesn't deserve you. You tell me about the things that he tries to do. You say that you want it, but I know the truth. You can't deny, you can't lie when I'm inside. You come alive and you think the skies ain't clearly dies, and you realize you're hypnotized. And then it gets around to a greater prize and shoot it fire through the skies, and I feel the trembling in your thighs. It's no surprise I cannot close my eyes. Why would I want to, and why would I want to, baby? Why would I want to when you look so beautiful tonight? There is no sweeter sin than that alabaster skin that grows mine to roll you through the night.
I love doing that. Thank you. That's going to give me a good idea of your kind of musical journey from where you basically, like you said, first started to know you could sing to where we are now when I heard you 3 weeks ago and you blew my pants off.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey, Streetwalkers. Here's a small clip of my new favorite podcast. It's called Party Nerds Popcast, with recent previous guest Robert Carradine and his buddy and co-host Richard Gabai. This clip is from their episode with the great John Carpenter. Check it out.
First time we worked together was on Body Bags. And the penultimate moment in that story for me was to have the lift for the automobile come down and squish me. You were trying to figure out how to do that without actually squishing me. And then I came up with an idea. Why don't we get a couple of those cinder blocks over there and I'll just lay down and you get your guy with the Hudson sprayer to spray a bunch of blood out like I got squished. Do you remember that?
I remember what you're talking about. See, I wasn't so concerned about how to do it. I just wanted to drop it on you. But, you started talking about how to survive that shot. I remember it clearly, Bob. We were out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it was supposedly a deserted gas station.
Yeah, which it actually was.
We built it, Bobby.
Oh, I thought that was...
Again, guys, it's called Party Nerds Popcast and is available everywhere you get podcasts.
Let's get back into it.
Okay, so you and your brother, what's his name?
His name is Ed.
Ed. You and Ed, Wyatt and Ed. I love it. So Wyatt and Ed, you guys are in this face-melting rock band, and then you're doing this for 7 years or so, playing regionally around the place, around the area of Fredericksburg-ish, assuming that that band ended because y'all all went on to do something else, right? There wasn't like a big five-way fist fight where everybody just punched each other in the face and you're like, I'm out of here.
No, we had different drummers. The bass player joined the Air Force, and yeah, just like you said, at a certain point, you have to look at what you're doing and kind of evaluate.
You have to look at your avenir.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You have to actually chase your avenir. That's a pitfall of naming a band, seeking your future. Like, oh, well, now we all got to leave because this is on our future. Exactly. They spent every time you said the name of the band, they're just like, what am I going to be when I grow up?
They just kept putting it off.
That's funny. So you're playing music like the Scorpions and stuff like that, right? You're just kicking it.
Yes, yeah.
At what point did you discover the old standards, the crooners, the Sinatras and the Dean Martins and the Tony Bennettts? When did you discover them and how?
So now I say, because I can pinpoint the time, I have Adam Sandler to thank for my career.
Hold on. Are you about to invoke the worst movie that he has ever made called Click?
I am.
No, he has never made a bad movie. I'm just kidding. So tell me how you were inspired by Click and Adam Sandler.
I was watching it, and there's a wedding scene in the future where his son gets married. And then after the main song, there's a wedding song in there that was playing after the main dialogue is over. It was kind of in the background, but it was Call Me Irresponsible.
Whose version was it?
I think they had someone cast sing it. It was a reproduction.
Oh, it wasn't like Nat King Cole or something. It was somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, at least to my knowledge, I might be wrong. I might go look it up now and see if it was an artist.
It doesn't matter.
But it was playing in the background. I was just so mesmerized by it, the sound and everything. And so I looked it up afterwards. I found Michael Bublé's version of it. And then that kind of opened up the whole world of standards and jazz to me. It kept snowballing from there. I listened to everything that Buble ever did. And then my mom introduced me to Sinatra after that. And then I just kept diving deeper into the world.
It's performed by John Pagano.
Okay.
John Pagano did the song Call Me Responsible in the movie Click. Just want to give a shout out to that dude real quick.
Yeah, of course.
So what was the reaction of your parents? They're seeing you with the Scorpions and I would assume Kiss and whoever and, whatever. You're doing this Def Leppard thing. And then all of a sudden you trade in your headband handkerchief for a fedora and all of a sudden you're just jamming out to their great-grandfather's music. What was the reaction of your parents and Ed?
It was always positive. I didn't start out just singing it. It was just something that I would listen to. My mother was definitely more appreciative of that and kind of leading the way.
She's like, thank God. This guy's done listening to White Lion or whatever.
She's definitely, more in line with that style. And she was a big CCR fan and, 70s stuff, but definitely liked Sinatra and all those Perry Como and stuff. And my dad was the one who was more in line with the rock side. But to his credit, he's come such a long way as far as, learning this style and hearing it because they've been supportive through everything, which is I'm very grateful for.
Can I ask you a weird question?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Supportive parents?
Uh-huh.
It's great.
It sounds awesome. But you're just like, compared to what? Like, I don't know any difference. So that's cool. Okay. So you're really getting into this. Now, when I discovered Sinatra and I was getting into him, I was doing the whole, listening to the whole catalog, the old stuff, him with the Dorsey Band. Mm-hmm. His whole career. And then I started reading biographies, everything I could get my hands on, watch his movies. I mean, when I did a deep dive, it was crazy. Now, did you go insane like that? Or were you really just focused on his music and not so much the life and times of Frank Sinatra?
So I did a deep dive on Buble for the most part at first.
So why did you do a deep dive on Buble? Is it just because he was more modern?
It was the modern, and he was the first artist that I discovered the music through. So to my mind, his music was the standard, and I didn't go back in time yet. His stuff was the Bible, and I was just I was comparing everyone else to him. I've never been to a live show of his yet, but I guess it's the only person I can go see.
Yeah. I saw Tony Bennett live. That was phenomenal.
I bet, yeah.
It was in a small old theater I say small. It was in a theater from the 20s, so it was the biggest at the time. But it was here in San Antonio, and at one point, he's standing there on stage with this microphone, and in between songs, he said, "You know what? One of the things that I love about these beautiful old theaters is the acoustics. And then he literally threw his mic to somebody off stage and he just belted out the next song with no microphone. And it was beautiful. That man was holy moly.
It's incredible, yeah. But yeah, so Buble was the first one. I went through all of his stuff. And then Sinatra, once I discovered, actual phrasing and what Sinatra was doing with the music, I switched gears a little bit and then started researching more. Like I have a few books as well. I have a whole crate of vinyls next to me. We're kind of in the process of moving to an actual house, but yeah, I'm starting my own Sinatra collection, if you will. And so learning more about these artists has been just absolutely incredible and influential in my own singing.
So listeners, you heard that Wyatt is starting his vinyl Sinatra collection. So all of you, if you happen to have extra Sinatra vinyls, go ahead and send it to him. But since you don't know his address, go ahead and send them to me. And if I don't already have that one, then I will forward it on to Wyatt.
Perfect.
So when did you start to try to sing in the style of those crooners? Like when did you make the switch from, Scorpions to Buble?
I want to say 2018.
Okay.
It's been a while, but to many others, I guess not long enough.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's when I started my show, was like the middle of 2017. So,
okay.
Yeah, a while, but to others, not that long.
Right.
So how did this manifest? Are you just singing in your bedroom and you're just kind of practicing the crooner style and the old standards? Or did you take this out in front of people? Were you singing to your mom, your dog? Like, how did this start? Like, what were the first steps? Because I know that you said that it kind of took you a little while to find out that you even could sing, and that was with rock. And then now you're switching to a whole different set of, vocal stylings. How did you manifest that into where you're at now? How did that start?
It was a lot of listening to it and trying to emulate it, I guess, in many ways. And for those first 1 or 2 years, my biggest audience was a bar of soap, I would say. It was something that I just kept practicing. Because I'm one of those people, I don't want to go out and look stupid if I can help it.
You're the 1% that doesn't want to look stupid on stage? Well, hold on. Let me write this down. I said, okay, go ahead.
So I like to practice something until I can get it, at least passable before I take it to someone else, which also is, depending on what it is not healthy either, because constructive criticism and stuff is good.
And also, you are your own worst critic. We all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll beat yourself up way more than anybody else would.
Yes, that's definitely, even now, it's very true. But yeah, I think my first public jazz singing opportunity was in the beginning of 2019. There was a local bridal shop in Fredericksburg called Ava Loren Bride. Without knowing me or seeing, because I didn't have any material or any proof, that I could sing, they gave me a shot and let me sing for I think it was their 5-year anniversary event.
So it was an anniversary event for a wedding clothing store, like a bridal store?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I sang just a few songs.
Now, was there a live band backing you, or was this tracks?
It was tracks. Yeah, it was tracks. Okay. I know one of the tunes was Dream a Little Dream, and that was Michael Bublé's arrangement also.
Sorry. Remember when I said there was a couple of other CDs in my now wife's, whatever, on our first date when I was going through her stuff in her car?
Yeah.
One of those CDs was the soundtrack to my all-time favorite movie, which is called Dream a Little Dream.
Oh, okay.
When I pulled that CD out of the console and I looked at her and I go, "You're the other one who bought this?" And then now we've been married for 20 plus years. That is my all-time favorite movie. Have you ever seen it?
I have not, actually, no.
It came out before you were born. Like, it came out in 1989. It stars Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Meredith Salinger, Piper Laurie, Jason Robards, Harry Dean Stanton, William McNamara, and maybe 1 or 2 other people. Anyway, it's a great movie. It's a little weird and kind of mystical. It's a body switch movie, but
okay, I
really dig it. I think Michael Damian and Mel Torme, they did the soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
It's tight.
That's got to be
You should
great,
check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry to interrupt you like nonstop, but so at this bridal anniversary, you're doing Dreaming a Little Dream. You're doing like a whole set, right? Was it 4, 5, 6, 12 songs? How long were you out there?
I can't remember, specifically. I know I did. There were a couple songs at the beginning, and then I was singing, I want to say at least an hour for the reception after party thing.
How do you feel that went? Like, how did you feel at the time that it was going? Like, were you just a sweaty mess, terrified, or did you feel like it was going well? Because you had been on stage plenty of times earlier with Chasing Avenir, but this was just you. There was nobody else for the eyeballs to be on except you. Nobody's looking at Ed. They're all looking at you. Like, how was that different, just being the only guy up there? How was that different in your, I guess, in your feelings of it?
It was nice being in the rock band. You know, I didn't have all the eyes on me, like you said. I remember definitely being very nervous and hoping to not forget lyrics.
So you weren't like reading them off your phone or anything, or had a teleprompter like I see some people doing. Like, you were just, this is all from memory-ish?
I've only read lyrics performing, I think, twice, and they've both been for weddings because I don't want to mess up the first dance, even though I've messed up almost all of the first dances I've done. There's been something that has gone wrong. So I think I'm going to stop doing those.
You'll just stop doing the first dance?
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, so. Now it's time for the first dance, but we're not going to do that this time. So we're just going to move on to the father-daughter dance. Like that?
I think so. Even in my own first dance, I wasn't singing, but something still went wrong, and the DJ played a different version of the song. So I think I'm just cursed with first dances. I typically don't read lyrics because I feel it's such a lazy cop-out thing to do.
Oh, it's a crutch for sure.
Yeah, that's my only job, I feel, is to know the words. It's more broad than that, sure, but I've just always seen it as, like you said, a crutch, or it doesn't look very professional to me. So I try my best to memorize everything I'm going to perform.
Sure. You do this bridal 5-year anniversary wedding store event. It goes fairly well. Did you get paid for that event?
No.
Good. I don't feel like people should get paid for their first things. I just don't. I don't know why. I feel like that's part of the journey. Because if you're doing it for a paycheck, then I feel like you sort of start to lose the passion in it. I mean, not you. I just mean individually, you know, like in general. There was this movie a long time ago called Catch and Release. This guy used to be a photographer, but then he started, like, he makes commercials and he makes movies now. And at one point he's taking pictures of this girl on the beach and she goes, "You're really good at this photography thing. Why did you ever stop taking pictures?" And he said, "Well, I started getting paid for it and then it felt like a job." So I feel like, especially when people are first starting, they should lean on their passion for whatever their creative endeavor is rather than the paycheck that's at the end of the night. So, I mean, that was just a long way for me to say, I'm glad you didn't get paid.
To be honest, I have no problems with that. I agree with what you're saying. And I think for them to take a chance on a local kid who says, you know, I can sing, you know, jazz music and standards, I'm just grateful that I got that opportunity. They didn't have to do that for sure. And definitely, I think it was a leap of faith for them for their big event.
Oh, 100%.
You know, it could have gone very wrong.
Well, I mean, you had, like you said, you had no reputation. You had no, it's not like you could show them a reel or listen to some demos or nothing. You were just like, "Hi, I know you might have seen me rocking the club with White Snake and the Scorpions, but now I'm doing a whole different thing. Can I do it at your big event?"
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, it was definitely a leap of faith for them, and congratulations to them for making that leap.
Yeah.
It benefits all of us now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is roughly 2019 or something like that, and I can't imagine there's a whole lot of places where you can do this publicly. Are there jazz clubs where you grew up?
No. There's another main place that I used to perform at, which was Amy's Cafe in Fredericksburg. She was another one who, even in the rock days, gave us a place and a platform to sing and, you know, do our thing. And once I made the switch to jazz, she kept on supporting me and my endeavors. So I would sing there. I sang there all the way up until I moved. The staff there are really nice. It was a good local gig that was reoccurring, and, you know, we'd have local people come in and just really enjoy the music and get to know one another, and it was really nice.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors. Let's get back into it.
I guess I forgot to ask what you wanted to be when you grew up, because it wasn't this. What was the plan?
It switched so many times. I don't remember what it was when I was a kid. I'm sure my mom would be able to tell you, but during the times I can remember, it switched from being a Marine like my dad, and that kind of fizzled out into something federal like FBI or CIA. And then now it's the complete opposite with what I'm doing, being so public.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going to be a spook. I'm going to be on stage. So do you think that this is what you were meant to do? Like, do you think you found your career? Do you think you found your avenue?
I hope so. I feel like it, but who knows what life has in store for each of us. But I mean, right now, yeah, I'm loving what I do, and I think I am getting good at it. And so I want to ride the wave and see how far I can take it.
Pardon me for saying so, because who am I? But I think you're fan-freaking-tastic at it.
Thank you.
You really, really set that place on fire here in San Antonio. It was amazing. My wife and I are still talking about it. It was so much fun.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you and ask Corey. You came to the first show, right? It was 7:00?
Yes. That's
Okay,
good.
so let me tell you, I got in a little trouble because in my mind, the show was going by so quickly and I was having so much fun. I didn't think it was over by 8:30. I thought it was over at 9. So I was starting to freak out and I was looking at the sheet and I'm like, man, we're we're already 3/4 of the way done with the tunes there. So I kept adding tunes to try to make it to 9 and telling all these stories that I don't normally tell because I was trying to pad the time. Meanwhile, the director is texting the piano player during the show, like telling me, like he's got to stop. We got to cut him off because I think it was around like 15 minutes overboard, and I was trying to get to 9, and I just got to a point after Mac the Knife where I said, I'll take the heat for not filling out the entire show, but I can't. There's no more that we have prepared. But yeah, so it turns out I was over the time by a lot, not under.
So the show was supposed to end at 8:30, and then the next one was supposed to start at 9. Is that
Yes.
right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's
It
right.
was awesome. Because, we've been there before, and so we know that there's kind of a set time because they basically do 2 seatings with a turnaround in the middle.
Right.
And we were just looking at our watch going, I don't know what's happening, but we're not leaving yet. Like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just you. They did a few things. Like, that night was a little off for everybody. Like, it's the kind of place where you have to call and make a reservation and, you pick your table and all that stuff. And so when we got there and I said my name and they said, oh, yeah, your table is right over here. And they sat us. And then while we were ordering drinks from our server at our table, the venue called me on the phone to say, are you coming or what? And I was like, bro, I'm sitting right here. Like, I'm waving to them. I'm like,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm so sorry. So it wasn't just you. Like, there was something in the air that night.
I guess so.
So fast forward a little bit to 2021. 2021, you appeared on the NBC show The Voice, which is a music competition show. For those who haven't seen it, I'm sure you've seen the commercials. There's like 3 or 4 really seasoned professionals who basically they have their back to the artist, and then at a certain point, if they like them, they turn their chair around, and then they get to fight over whose team they're going to be on, and they all coach these people through the rest of the season. As we're recording this right now, I have a 2-time previous guest of my show named Mackenzie Phipps. She is on the show right now in whatever season this is.
Okay, nice.
She is on Team Snoop,
Okay.
which I think is kind of weird because she's a country singer, but she is having a blast. But I don't know what the experience is for everybody or if this is just how Snoop handles things, but Snoop has sent her tons of packages to her house full of like all kinds of Snoop gifts and memorabilia and just records and hoodies and just all kinds of crazy stuff. He took her to some of his shows, like brought her up on stage. Like, I don't know if that's what all of the people get, but that's how Snoop is rolling these days. So how did you come to be part of The Voice? From when did it hit your radar to once you got there? Like, how did you come across this?
The casting had sent me emails in the past.
How did they find you?
I don't know. I remember the first time I got an email, I was doing a Valentine's Day show at a local bar in Fredericksburg, and I got an email from one of the casting people.
So they reached out to you when you were still in Virginia?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't see the need at the time. I was getting lots of gigs, and I just started playing with Paul Langosh, who's Tony Bennett's old bass player, for like 20 years.
Upright bass?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
But after, COVID hit, gigs slowed down, obviously, and they were still reaching out to me, so I thought it would be the best time to do it. So that's when I said yes, 2021. Season 21, I sent in a formality type audition and then flew out to Burbank.
To do the live audition?
Yes, sir.
So is there, and I know that like with American Idol, there's like this huge long audition process where you're singing in front of judges 12 times before you're ever even in front of the actual people. Is it the same way with the voice, or is the first time you're singing an audition in front of the people in the chairs?
I don't think it's ever that. I think there can be multiple steps depending on your situation. It was just 2 or 3 times for me before the main one.
This would have been in front of some producers or something?
Yes, the executive producers and stuff. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think it was only a couple times.
Do you remember what songs you chose to sing?
Yeah, I did Mac the Knife for the main one that they chose. I think my alternatives were My Funny Valentine, and that might have been it. I think they just said pick 2.
Okay. So this was the 2021 season of The Voice. So you come on, and there's 3 or 4 people with their backs to you in a chair. Was that weird? In front of a live studio audience, right?
Right.
Do they have a house band that plays the music, or did you have was it piped in, or?
They do. They have a great band there. It wasn't weird for me to sing to them with their backs. I mean, especially in rock, but even with jazz, singing at the different bars and stuff, people have done much worse than just face away. So
yeah, I mean, like at our show, I mean, yes, it's a music show, but we're all eating and drinking the whole time. So it's not like we're just 100% focused on you, mesmerized as
right.
We were. But yeah, we got jobs to do too. We're trying to wolf down some food in the dark.
Exactly. Yeah.
So who were the judges? Do you remember?
Yes, it was Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, Ariana Grande, and then Blake Shelton.
Ariana Grande, is she the girl from Wicked?
Yes.
Okay. Please forgive me for not doing enough research. Did anybody turn their chair around for you?
No worries. Yeah, Kelly Clarkson and Ariana did, yeah.
So then they had to wrestle to see who got to coach you? Is that how that works?
They did, yeah. That's how they draw it up, yeah.
So they bring out a mud wrestling pit. So whose team did you get to be on?
I picked Kelly Clarkson.
If 2 people turn around, you get to pick?
Yeah, if more than one turns around, you get to choose.
You said Kelly?
Yes, sir.
What made you choose Kelly over Ariana? Was it the donut licking history of Ariana Grande?
No, God, I forgot about that. That's
everybody has. I try to
yeah.
bring it up as much as possible since she's a blockbuster star now.
No, it was what she was saying. I think it was she seemed more connected to that world, and she brought up potentially doing the duet of something stupid with Frank and Nancy, and just thought I should stay in that world. And it brought up the conversational aspect of singing and the phrasing, and I was just drawn towards it. And Ariana was telling me that I should switch and what it would be like to sing pop, and
oh, really?
Yeah.
So that was part of the sales pitch, was her telling you sound great, but you're in the wrong genre?
I mean, yeah, just to summarize, yeah, it was,
sure,
worded differently, but that was the point that I got.
I'm going to have to go back and watch it. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to insert that right here. I probably won't. We'll see what happens.
What she was saying was not really resonating with me as much because in my mind, if you can sing, you can pretty much sing pop. Or, my point is, I think generally speaking, jazz is a little bit harder to sing and pull off unless you really like the music and have a connection with it. It's not something you can just sing randomly or you just switch genres.
It's a little more structured. It has rules. It has boundaries, where pop, you can kind of do anything you want and you can get away with not being the greatest at that particular art.
Well, there's that. I think there's a lot of background things and just emotion-driven things that pop music and just other music doesn't have as much, or in a different vein at least. I know I keep going back to it, but the conversational phrasing and emotion and lyric-driven things, these really strong melodies, I haven't found it anywhere else except the Great American Songbook. And I just wasn't interested at the time of switching. I could sing a pop song. I could write so many pop songs, and it just doesn't carry the same weight as doing the jazz thing. So,
sure. So what was the experience like being coached by the great and talented, super successful Kelly Clarkson?
Coach is a strong word, I think. Obviously, it's a reality show, so it's not reality. And we only saw her when the cameras were rolling and we had a shoot day. I think I saw her 3 times, maybe 3 or 4 times.
And was this one-on-one, or was this you and everybody else that she had chosen?
It was never one-on-one. It was either with the team or... So I got eliminated in the second round where we did a duet. So it was always with my duet partner, Holly, who was part of it, all the shoot days and everything. It would always be all together. But, I mean, she didn't really have a hand in too much, honestly. Even regarding the song that we did, she chose for us Sunny by Bobby Hebb. and I kind of did most of the arrangement for it and everything, and did a lot of work with it. And Holly did too, but she just kind of basically signed off on it and said, yeah, let's try this. And it wasn't a coaching experience like most people think. I mean, kind of going into it, like I said, it's reality. I didn't have stars in my eyes, and I wasn't expecting too much from that side of it.
Probably good, right?
Yeah.
You weren't expecting too much?
Yeah, I mean, even with jazz, I really wasn't. I made it exactly as far as I thought I would. So I got some exposure from it and some experience, and then, that was it.
So you weren't on for very long, but you did learn from the experience and you got some exposure. Without any numbers, did you get paid to be on that show?
Yeah, we would get paid a weekly thing, and then also for days that we were shooting, we get additional.
Gotcha. And then airfare, hotel, all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Streetwalkers, here's a word from our sponsors.
Warning. Not listening to Fascination Street podcast may cause unexpected side effects. Side effects may include sudden fits of boredom, irrational curiosity about everything you missed, the inability to name your favorite podcast interview, spontaneous ignorance of obscure celebrity stories, talking to coworkers about nothing because you didn't hear the latest episode. Other symptoms may include excessive use of the phrase, "Wait, what happened?" Chronic seriousness with no trace of laughter or delight, unexplainable urge to scroll aimlessly instead of being entertained. In rare cases, not listening may lead to wandering aimlessly through podcast apps, overexposure to true crime reruns, and thinking you're cooler than you actually are. If you find yourself experiencing any of these symptoms, stop what you're doing immediately and download Fascination Street Podcast. Ask your podcaster if Fascination Street Podcast is right for you. Spoiler alert, it is.
Let's get back into it.
While you were going back and forth with the voice, I believe this timeline is correct. You were singing like in a nursing home?
Yeah, I did that between, like I said, Amy's Cafe and the other gigs, mostly before word of mouth started spreading and I started doing weddings and parties and stuff. It was mostly, assisted living places and senior centers, community centers, all those things, yeah.
Tell me the story of Dolores.
She was a resident at one of the main ones in Fredericksburg. I started, and she would come around all the time. And actually, it's funny, the story that I told on stage was 98% true. The song that was her favorite was not the one that I said at the time. That was the only one we had prepared. The actual song was "I Fall in Love Too Easily" from Anchors Away.
You ever seen that movie?
I have, yes.
That movie is the first on film live action with an animated feature.
Yeah.
Because Jerry the mouse is dancing with, maybe it was Fred Astaire. Anyway, whoever it was. And also maybe I think he danced with Frank. But that was the first time that there was live action and animation in a movie.
That's
1942 or something crazy like that. So it was that song was the real one she fell in love with. But anyway, tell the story.
Yeah. So I would sing there occasionally, probably, once a month or so. And at that time I was in talks with The Voice about traveling. I was just about to leave. I did one last show at the assisted living facility, and she was asking when I would be back, and I couldn't tell her anything really because of the NDA rules and all that. So I just said, I'll be back as soon as I can, pretty much. And so, but I was gone for, I think, around 3 months, maybe.
That's a long time.
It was, yeah. So anyway, I came back, we had a little break, and I sang again at the place. And right before I started the set, one of the staff members told me that while I was gone, that she had passed away.
Not to sound like a bad person, but that's kind of a dick move to tell you right at the beginning of the set. Like, bro, wait till I'm done. You're going to have me all weepy and...
It was, or yeah, I mean, during just email me or text me, yeah, there was that aspect of it.
Yeah, sure. And a 1 and a 2. Oh, hold on now. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, and a 1 and a 2. Yeah, I would imagine that messed with you a little bit.
It did. Actually, my wife kind of did the same thing. I was backstage about to do my duet, my battle on The Voice.
Uh-huh.
She calls and tells me, "Hey, our dog, he tore both of his ACLs, so he needs his knees replaced or fixed or whatever." I was like, okay, great. I'm going to go sing Sunny now and see how it goes.
That's awesome. So Dolores, she was your biggest fan at the retirement home, right?
Yeah, there, and just a cliche, stereotypical nice old lady. I really connected with the music, proving that she was kind enough to leave some Sinatra memorabilia she acquired over the years for me, and that was really special.
So she kicked off your collection for the most part.
I guess, yeah, in a way she did, yeah.
That's really cool. What is the coolest thing that she left you as part of that collection? Oh, tickets from when she saw him, right?
Yes, yeah, in New York. Yeah, and she would always brag about. She had a bunch of pictures and stuff that she would always bring and show me every time, which I'd loved seeing them.
Was it pictures of her and him, or just him, or
Pictures of him at the Paramount in the 40s.
Oh my gosh, really? At the Paramount?
Yeah, it was crazy.
She's like 90, and she's like, I tell you what, when I was there and I saw that cute young man up there, I whipped off my top and threw my bra on stage. You're like, wait, what?
She never got that specific, but maybe she did.
I love that she was one of the Bobby Soxers.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide to move to Vegas, and why?
That was very recent. I came out here in March of this year.
Really? Of 25?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Why?
Opportunities, as far as there actually being jazz clubs out here.
Hold on. Are you telling me that in Las Vegas, there's more places to sing the standards and the Frank Sinatra style music than in wherever the hell you were in Virginia?
In Fredericksburg, yeah, if you can believe it.
Get right on out of the city.
Yeah. And also it was the proximity to LA and California. I was going out to LA and San Diego and San Francisco frequently.
For what?
For various gigs.
For shows? Okay.
Yeah. Vibrato in Beverly Hills with Jason Goldman and his band. And
sure.
There's a nonprofit called Jazz at the Ballroom who I still work with. They would fly me out. I just got tired of the 5-hour plane rides back and forth, so I figured I'd cut it a little bit and either take a short flight or I can just drive there.
Yeah, you can just drive for sure. So what are you doing in Vegas? Do you have a regular gig? Like, do you have a residency somewhere? What's going on in Vegas? Where can people find you in Vegas?
Yeah, it's funny. I haven't really gotten around to that part yet. I was only home one day a week for the past 2 or 3 weeks just from traveling everywhere else. And ironically going back to the East Coast a lot, to Florida mainly, and then I'll be going to New York, and I went to Pennsylvania, and it's funny. But
so even though you live in Vegas, you're not doing a whole lot of Vegas shows?
At the moment, no. It's funny. I basically just changed where I flew out from, but I'm still going to the same places.
I was listening to a bunch of your stuff on Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely follow this guy on Spotify. You will not be disappointed, I promise. There's a song, and I've never heard it before, so it makes me wonder if it's yours. First off, are there any songs, any standards that you wrote, or standard style, any jazz songs that you wrote that you do?
Yeah, there's a few. The ones that are not released yet, I'm more proud of. I'm just waiting to find the right instrumentation.
Gotcha.
For them. I'm really excited about those. But I do have a few. There was one from my first record, my duo record with Chris Whiteman called Renaissance. It was Take My Hand. That was one of mine. And then I also wrote the lyrics to his music for It's About Time on that record. And then my recent EP that I released called Just Two. All of those tunes are my originals except for, I think it's track 2, The Girl Who's Been in Love Before. That was written by David Mann.
There's a song called With You.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Is that yours?
That is mine. I wrote that in a time where I was still transitioning. Buble was my main influence at that time. And I think that kind of comes through with the sound of it. But I wrote that so many years ago for my now wife. I don't even remember. Maybe like 2015 when I wrote that. It was originally very high and just on guitar. And so I kind of changed it to fit a little bit more the style enough to put it out.
Well, I think that is a beautiful song, and specifically, I wanted to ask if I could play that song, because I wanted to make sure it was yours, obviously, and then I wanted to ask if I could play that song, because it stopped me in my tracks when, I'm listening to you just kind of roll through these standards, and I'm loving it, and then I hear this song I've never heard before, and it made me stop and really pay attention to what I was listening to. It really grabbed me and got my attention, so I was wondering if I could play With You.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is that part of an EP or anything, or is it a single? How did you release it?
It was just a single. And, like I said, I wanted to actually finish it and put it out. And it's funny you say that. You're the first person who has even said that they've heard it.
Really? So, oh my gosh, it blew me away. I love that song.
That's great to hear, and it's fascinating for me. I might look back into. I haven't heard it in years.
Oh, well, you're going to hear it when you hear this. It is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is With You by Wyatt Michael.
When I wake up, your smile's the sun. I don't need the lottery, 'cause I've already won. I love your sweet hugs and your kisses, and I don't need heaven, 'cause I'm already in it with you. With you. I don't need heaven, 'cause I'm already in it with you. Long walks, long talks, they mean so much to me. And I don't need someone else. You've got all the love I need. You are my queen. I'm your peasant. That don't need heaven, 'cause I'm already in it with you. With you. With you. As the sun sets, you stay by my side. I don't need a best friend, 'cause I've already got mine. Under the moonlight and your magic spell, are so deeply in love with you I fell. No one compares to you, my dear. I don't need heaven, 'cause I've got it right here with you. With you. With you. With you. I don't need heaven, 'cause I've got it right here with you.
There's another song I heard. I feel like I might have heard it before, so maybe not. Maybe it's not yours. Goody Goody. Did you write that?
No, that's not. That's Discant and Maddie Malnick, I believe, wrote that.
Okay, that's a good song too. You have a wonderful voice, and all respect to Ariana Grande, I think you are perfectly suited for the genre that you're in. I don't even know how you could do pop. I don't know how you would do that with your tenor and your vocal stylings. I don't know how that would be possible, but I guess we don't have to try and figure that out, because that's not what you're doing right now. I love everything I heard at the show, the live show. I've loved everything that I've seen on your YouTube channel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, he has a YouTube channel. Definitely follow him on YouTube at Wyatt Michael, just Wyatt Michael, right?
I think it's Wyatt Michael Sings on most, if not all, platforms.
There you go. Wyatt Michael Sings. Definitely check those out. Again, follow him on the Spotify's. Is there a website where people can get things from you of yours? Like, can I go to, I don't know, WyattMichaelSings.com and buy a copy of your EP Blue or something like that? Is there a place where people can go buy things?
I don't. So I ran out of my physical CDs, but I do have a website.
If only there was a way to make more.
I have a few. I know there's in all my bios on social media, there's a link tree with everything, the merch and the websites and all my streaming platforms. The website has a few different names, but I think it's singwithswing.com is my main, main one. Yeah.
Love that. Singwithswing.com.
Yes.
That's kick ass. Everybody can find you at Wyatt Michael Sings everywhere on all the social medias and things.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you doing dances on TikTok?
No, but I guess I should, right? That's how you get views.
I guess. I have no idea. I'm trying to manage so many social media platforms. I don't know what any of them do, and I definitely don't know what they do for me. All I know is that it feels like a checklist that I have to hit all of these every day, and it drives me crazy.
I know how you feel.
I'm sure you do. Where can people go to find out where you're going to be touring? Because, like we've discussed, you play all over the East Coast, all over the West Coast, everywhere except Vegas.
Yeah.
You even come down to San Antonio sometimes. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be allowed to come back since you got in trouble, but
yeah.
Where can people go to find out where you're going to be playing so they can go check out the dulcet tones of a Wyatt Michael?
I do everything myself, which is a double-edged sword, and I'm very bad at updating my website. I would say the best place would be Instagram.
Okay.
I post there pretty frequently, and then I update that link tree in my bio with shows. But I know for a fact I'm going back to Jazz Texas and Houston, also the new club Docs that he opened up there.
Where?
I'll be there December in Houston. I don't know where exactly in Houston. But
Doc Watkins opened up a club in Houston?
Yes. Or he's opening. I'm not sure if it's open just yet.
Sure. You're going to be there when?
December
something.
10th and 11th, 12th, that 9th, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Well, I guess you didn't get into too much trouble if he's having you play the grand opening of his new club.
I don't know if it's a grand opening, but yeah, I'm excited. It's all Christmas.
I
Christmas
said
stuff.
grand opening, and that's what we're going with. So did you say you're also coming back to Jazz Texas in San Antonio or no?
Yeah, so I think it's 2 days in Houston and then 2 days in San Antonio.
So this is all in late December?
Early to mid. It's around that 13th, 12th time.
Got you.
Once again, on when the time gets closer and I have all the links and everything, it'll be on my Instagram and stuff.
So you claim.
I do claim.
Well, as we're heading out, Wyatt, is there anything we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about that you specifically wanted to talk about today? Like, did we cover the big bits?
I think so, for the most part. I'm terrible at remembering stuff about myself. I think you hit pretty much the monumental.
That's how we roll.
Monumental bits, yeah.
I'm cruising through the Jazz Texas website trying to find those dates in December. There it is. The Doc Watkins Trio presents a Charlie Brown Christmas. Wait a minute, that's not you. You're not Charlie Brown. There it is. December 11th and 12th in San Antonio at Jazz Texas. We got the Sinatra Holiday Songbook with Wyatt Michael. Everybody go check that out. It's going to be sick as hell. And I quote, "Celebrate the magic of the season with Wyatt Michael, the velvet-voiced crooner, best known for his unforgettable performance on NBC's The Voice." I disagree. I think he is best known for his unforgettable performance at Jazz Texas and all over the interwebs. Often compared to the great Frank Sinatra, Wyatt brings his signature charm and elegance to a holiday program filled with timeless classics. Backed by the beloved Jazz Texas House Band, he'll deliver heartwarming renditions of favorites including Jingle Bells, White Christmas, Toyland, Let It Snow, and I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. A night of romance, nostalgia, and holiday cheer, this special performance is the perfect way to ring in the season with friends and family at Jazz Texas. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that is a perfect evening, and I can't see an avenir where I'm not there. So I am looking forward to that for sure, but I will not truck my fat ass all the way to Houston to see you. Sorry about that. That is about 4 hours, and I'm not doing it.
Fair enough, yeah.
Wyatt Michael, dude, I have had a blast. You put on one hell of a show, and then after the show, I went over and I took a pic with you and shook your hand and said hello, and you were so kind and so gracious. You were everything that I hoped you would be when I was looking forward to this interview. Oh, and I specifically didn't tell you before, like we booked this interview once I found out you were going to be there, but I didn't tell you that I was going to be at that show or even that I was in San Antonio because I kind of wanted it to be a little bit of a surprise. And I think I did surprise you.
Yeah, you did. I love that, by the way. That was great.
Anyway, we had a blast. The picture that I'm going to release with this episode is, well, it's us. It's you and me there at Jazz, Texas. And my beautiful wife took that picture. Wyatt Michael, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day and your hectic crooning all over America schedule to hang out and let us get to know you a little bit better on Fascination Street, man. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. My pleasure. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. And thanks for coming to the show. It was great.
It was 100% my pleasure, and I mean it. And you have a great rest of your week, man. Oh, my wife says to tell you hi, and she enjoyed the show.
Hello to her, and I'm so glad she did.
All righty, buddy. I will talk to you later, and have a great holiday season until we meet again, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Opening music is the song FSP Theme, written, performed, and provided by Ambush Vin.
Closing music is from the song Say My Name off the 2021 album Underdog Anthems, used with permission from Jack's Hollow. If you like the show, tell a friend. Subscribe and rate and review the show on iTunes and wherever else you download podcasts. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All the episodes are available there as well. Check me out on Vero at Fascination Street Pod and TikTok at Fascination Street Pod. And again, thanks for listening.